Jam.
What's good, y'all? It's Jam T.Jay with All Work No Play. I'm just out here enjoying and soaking up some sun on this December morning with baby girl at the Riverwalk, and we're just taking it in. But I was watching Rhythm and Flow on Netflix, and I was watching D Smoke's final performance. And if y'all haven't watched Rhythm and Flow on Netflix, it's the rap version of The Voice on Netflix. I advise y'all to check it out. But he simply said, growth is an uncomfortable process, and pain is a necessary investment for progress. Man, let that sink in. So what I'm about to talk about on this video is I'm talking about slaying the beast. And for me, slaying the beast was slaying the national exam to become a physical therapist assistant. And also slaying the beast could be for slaying your anxiety, slaying your depression, slaying your demotivation, and trying to find that drive when it comes to anything. So yeah, let's get to work. So I hope you are doing well today and every day and every other day for that matter. But yeah, I hope everybody is trying to be on their grind and trying to minimize the stresses of the holidays. I know it can be a little wild, and I know it can bring a lot of depression and anxiety. And let me preface this first. I am not a psychologist. I am not a pharmacist. I am not a doctor. I'm a physical therapist, so things out of my scope of practice when it comes to handling depression, anxiety, and medication, that's out of my scope. I'm only simply here for speaking to anyone out there that is suffering from acute depression and anxiety, or situational depression or anxiety. I'm just going off of what I've done and what has worked for me. So take this with a grain of salt, use your better judgment, and just understand what it is at hand. So, talking about depression and anxiety, it's kind of hard, man. Like, it's kind of hard for us to understand and get a grasp on how everybody feels, and even when it comes to the situational type of stuff, like, it's difficult. It's difficult to understand where a person is coming from and understanding how they're feeling. All you can do is be a listener, and all you can do is be of help to them, and of assistance and of service to kind of help them out with their problems if they're having something. So when it comes to anxiety, when it comes to the holidays and school and it's finals week and things like that, you got to understand your worth, and you got to understand how much time you put in and the sacrifice. You know, we live in a crazy world, and there's always something that's going to get us out of our comfort zone. It's going to scare us, and that's understandable, but we can't live our lives in fear outside of what's in the window or what's outside of our doors and in our stores and in our churches and our schools. Like, it's going to make us turn into hermit crabs if we think about and think in fear of our lives. Like, we have to understand our strength, and we have to understand our surroundings, and we have to understand our well-being. And that also comes with time of being self-aware. Like, self-awareness just doesn't happen so fast overnight. Self-awareness, it takes time, it takes experiences, it takes circumstances, and it takes courage to figure it out. So don't ever feel like you can't get over that hump, or you can't get over that bump in the road because of it. And I've been there. When I was going through PT school, I was having a tough time. I thought I wasn't gonna be able to finish. It was testing me, and I felt I was being tested every single day. And it was scary because I was like, I don't want to let my family down. We have a son, we're gonna have a daughter on the way. Like, I don't want to let my family down. I don't want to be a failure to this. And also, I don't want to be a failure to myself because I worked so hard and I finally figured out what I wanted to do in life. So Anxiety and depression is very hard. You have to understand your worth, and you have to understand what you're doing. And there's a podcast that I actually did. It's called Fear Setting, and it's by Tim Ferriss. And he talks about the fears, and if it's going to financially hurt you, or if it's going to put someone in danger in your family. So check out that podcast too, and also check out the Tim Ferriss Fear Setting. All right. So when it comes to slaying the beast, the NPTE final exam, national exam, NCLEX, MCAT, finals, any of that stuff, you got to understand what you study for it and how hard you studied. Don't think of failure. Think of burning the ships, like Dr. Kyle Rice said, the DPT. Think about burning the ships. First attempt is your last attempt. For you to get your success, your glory, your joy, you have to slay the beast, because the beast is what's going to stand in the way of you being the successor and standing on top of the slayed beast, looking mighty, you know? So for me, I failed 3 times. And I kept going. The first time I was in my last rotation of clinicals in an outpatient setting, and we were going for 9 hours, 10 hours, 4 days a week, no study time, plus doing online stuff with the class that was still going on, and plus the family. I had 2 little ones, and I had my wife at home who she was working her butt off, and I failed. I didn't feel as confident going in. I didn't know what to expect. The process was crazy, and I felt horrible. And I kind of took it as like, you know what? I failed the first time. I'm not going to fail the second time. And I should have waited. I should have waited to take it the official first time, and after I graduated and after clinicals. I should have did that. I should have waited. So I took it the second time. Second time I felt confident. I studied my butt off. I did different kind of studying, and I was over my notes, and I did videos and podcasts and things like that. Walked in, and I even had to travel. Me and my wife, we had to travel to another state to take the test, because the test wasn't available in Colorado. So we had to go to New Mexico. All right. Took the test, walked out, and was unsure. Then waited for the test to come in, and I failed. I failed again. I was so devastated with this time, because I felt like I let my family down. I felt like I let my kids down, my wife down. I felt that I let my employers down, because they were waiting for me to pass and waiting for me to start with the position that they had for me. And it sucked. Like, I was at a low. Yeah, I felt I at an all-time low when I failed that second time. It was horrible. I was so depressed. I was having anxiety, thinking that I chose the wrong career. I felt like I needed to change a new career. I was having a little crisis within myself. I would barely speak with my wife. I was very just short and kind of short-tempered, and it threw me for a loop. And I was in a funk for a while. I didn't even want to study. I didn't even want to look at a PT book. I didn't want to look at a PT video. I didn't even want to go to work, because everybody was counting on me to succeed and have my license. And it was terrible, and I hated it. Like, I was in such a bad place in myself that I was in such a bad place within myself that I was like, this is not me. Like, I'm not this type of person to be feeling like this. And when it comes to something that you want so bad and that you fell at, it makes it hurt 10 times harder, because you're like, oh my God, like, this is what I wanted. This is what I worked so hard for, and I can't even taste the victory. What the hell am I going to do now? How am I going to provide now? And my confidence level, it dropped so low when that happened, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to pick myself up. Like, I was seeing all the Facebook posts and Instagram posts of all my classmates passing, and I was feeling like shit. And it hurt me so bad. Hurt me bad. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know what I was going to do. So, you know, luckily I had the encouragement of my family, my mom, my brothers, my wife, even my kiddo, even my son, you know, and my wife's family. And, you know, it was tough, man. So I had to figure out something. I had to figure out what I was going to do and what I was going to change in order for me to pass, in order for me to slay the beast of the NPTE. So my wife and I, she encouraged me to buy a course, bought the course, hit the ground running really hard, started reading more of both the books that I needed. I started actually listening and dissecting questions and understanding the diagnosis and things like that, and seeing how to answer the questions, and also just giving my time to breathe and to actually just motivate myself and speak affirmations. And this is when I started doing a lot more affirmations. Every day I woke up, I said the same things. I am a physical therapist assistant. I will be a physical therapist assistant. I will pass my exam. Failure is not an option. And I just kept going. I was like, I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this to enhance my career and to progress my career and to progress my education and my self-awareness and being a clinician. And walked in on test day, confident as hell, sat down at the book sat down at the computer, and I said, this is the first and the last time I'm seeing your ass. I'm passing it and I'm gonna be licensed. Took the test, walked out, and you know what I did? You know what I did before I even started the car? I grabbed the steering wheel and I just screamed. I screamed so bad. Then I stopped, turned the car on, drove home. I turned on my music. I pumped and dumped every PT thing that I had in my head, and I just let it go. I just let it fly in the wind. I was done. At that point, I was done with PT. I was like, you know what? We're just going to figure out the results when they come in 10 days. And I had to wait for 10 days. So, yeah. 10 days came. I was working, checking all day, and called my wife. My wife was checking. Then I finally refreshed it and it said passed. I was like, oh my God, thank you. I was super happy. I was chest bumping. I was beating my chest like a gorilla. Like, I was so happy. I was so ecstatic because I was like, weight lifted off my shoulders because of the confidence I had, because of the affirmations that I spoke to myself, and my family that I was thinking of. And just like, I want to give them a better life. I want to give them so much more. And I hate to have them see me so depressed and so anxious and so short-tempered. Like, I want them to see me happy and full and, you know, ready to go to work and ready to slay the day, you know? So I was so happy. All right. So when it comes to slaying the beast, whether it's anxiety, depression, your finals, your national exam, remember that the last ship, this ship, you got to burn all the ships, and the first attempt is the last attempt. There's no more after that, because you're going to taste your victory, you're going to taste your glory, and you're going to be on the road to your next step of what you got to do in life. And also remember that all this stuff is temporary. Pain is temporary. And we have to go through pain to actually see growth in ourselves and to see that we're able to put our asses in the fire and carry that fire. So that's all I got. It's Jam T.Jay with All Work No Play. Smash the like and subscribe button. Pass this on to your friends and family because they can definitely benefit from this channel. Comment down below. And good luck to all you that are taking your finals and to all you that are taking the NPTE in January. You're going to need it, and you're going to need to study. So make sure you study those books. All right? Study the Big Red. Study the NPTE score builders. And stabilize before you mobilize. And let's get to work. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.